Hello guys, and welcome back to Rise of Prussia. Continuing our Prussian campaign here with the Second Silesian War. In the last episode, in the last turn, we had just taken Prague, Konglomerat, Troppau, dealt some major blows to the Austrians right at the start in terms of their morale, in terms of their victory points, which are now negative. And now we're moving on with our war plans following these very consequential battles, which we're going to take a look at some of the effects of here first. So from winning those battles, we now have 49 engagement points. Holy fucking shit. It must be related to how much points here that these places were worth. Maybe each one of these equates to engagement points as well. I don't know. Last campaign, we didn't get anywhere near this many engagement points, so we can pretty much just like go to the options and probably just, select literally all of these military options. We gotta make sure we have enough of everything else. War supply, we should have enough war supply. Conscripts, we should have enough conscripts. Money, it's a lot of money. We should have enough money. So we should have enough of everything, I think. I don't know. I'm afraid to recruit anything else. So maybe I shouldn't do all of that, but I'm just gonna recruit a single line infantry at Frankfurt for the time being. 20 conscripts. This all should still be enough. That was all I could recruit right now anyway, and why? Because it consumed all my conscripts. So do I still have enough? 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, I still have enough. That's good. So I get more artillery, more heavy cavalry, more cavalry, while also recruiting more line infantry, and these should be done at similar times. Our reinforcement pool is probably basically empty by this point, but let's take stock of the situation. So we've taken control of Prague. Let's get this fort battery on the defensive, get it placed inside the structure. You need to join that fort battery. We have an event. 2 Prussian generals arrive in Prague. Ein Sedel for Prague garrison and Christoph von Nassau as corps commander. Interesting. And we have an event here. Louis XV, I think that's 15, King of France, falls ill of smallpox early August, stopping the French army and allowing the main Austrian army to cross back the Rhine and escape eastwards towards Bohemia. This is an important event as Bohemia now becomes the main theater of operations. Maria Theresa is blessed by luck. Bohemia. Bohemia. Political states. I think that's how we see Bohemia, right? Yeah, this is Bohemia? No, it's geographical area. Grand region. Okay, yeah, so this grand region. This is Bohemia. It's saying Bohemia has become the what? The main theater of operations. So in the last campaign, France actually came to assist us, as well as Bavaria, and even Saxony. And we were able to take all the French, there was a lot of French units, them and the Bavarians, and send them to Vienna, which is still a important objective, but not an objective. It's a strategic objective, not an objective city. It's not that important. We didn't need it to win the game last time technically, and we technically don't need it now so long as we get all the objective cities and hold them. So that's a shame. France won't be coming to our side anymore. Saxony has flipped sides by the looks of it, and we'll end up having to fight them. I don't know if this campaign is going to go very well or very badly, but for right now, the Austrian morale is fucking shaken. Their cohesion is reduced. Ours is buffed up like crazy. It's looking pretty good right now. It's a good start. At least I'd like to think it's a good start. So one of the first things we have to do is we have to make sure that we actually hold on to these locations and get some victory points and such from them. To do that, we are going to have to leave some units behind. Some specific units behind. I think over here I'm gonna get it from Rothenburg. Yes, we're gonna get it from Rothenburg. So let's split his units up. We're gonna take one of his cavalry, one of his dragoons, and leave it with this Prussian detachment of fort batteries. Also, we were given a general specifically for the garrison of Prague. I believe it was Gottfried here. Yeah, Gottfried for Prague garrison, and Nassau is for the corps commander. Okay, so we're gonna leave this cavalry with Gottfried, and they will be the defenders of Prague, which right now actually has 234 power. That's not the worst thing in the world. And where is he? We gotta get his little brigade back together here. There you go. We're gonna have to leave someone at Konglomerat, and let's see. Oh geez, what can we even manage with this? We don't have many choices. So I'm actually gonna restructure this a little bit. I'm gonna take Kainin, however you say that, And I'm going to break up his brigade. Karl von Kalnin? This text is really tiny. It's hard to see. Cal 9. And we're going to take... Who's this? Zimmer now. And we're going to split his units up as well. These units here are weak from my experience. I don't really understand what they are. They're called Fusiliers. Fusiliers. These guys are always pretty weak. We're going to leave one of them behind. Let's see. So we're going to... Oh, wait. No, wait. You are over here. So we're going to toss you into the structure and put you on the defensive. You are now the sole garrison here. Congratulations. Now let's figure out fixing this. So you have better stats than him. You're a higher seniority. Okay, that's good. So we want to get the quality units with you. So to take the elite regulars plus the regulars and toss them in with you. You have 3 units. We're going to take these shittier units and toss them in with Karl here. Karl Cal 9. And there you go. That is now a little better restructured. So over in Prague, I'm changing up what I'm doing. Actually, I'm going to leave one of the Fusiliers, the same unit I left over at Konglomerat here, instead of a cavalry, just because infantry would be more useful defending a location than cavalry, especially a fort. And honestly, the strength of these guys is pretty abysmal. Over here now, we're going to take this fort battery, stick it back in the fortifications, and I'm going to split up Bredau's brigade over here, because he has 2 of these units as well. I'm going to leave one with the fort battery, and we're going to take Bredau and give him back his elite infantry, but I'm also going to give him the cavalry, just because, honestly, I think it would be a higher quality decision. He actually has room for another unit now, by the looks of it. I've taken our new leader Nassau here, and I've utilized him to actually create a new corps attached to the army of, well, the LB army of Frederick II, and we'll find him in here. Here he is. He's the 2nd star here. So he has a required command of 20 to stick all of these units in with him, and he provides command of 32. He's just as strong as like any of these other forces right now, which is actually really nice. Power-wise, he has 1348 currently, not as good as these other ones. It would actually, honestly, be preferable if I was able to simply mix these units in with these other armies, but until I know where they're going to stay, it's probably more efficient to just move them around with him like this. It does give me additional striking power if I need it too. So I've decided I do want to kind of get these already existing corps that aren't full up to be in a better state. So I believe it's 4 command points for each of these. So this would be another 8, get it up to 30. I'm taking the 2 cavalry brigades that was in the excess amount of units that came from Frederick, and I'm going to target this army corps here belonging to Leopold, and I'm going to try to merge them in. I believe targeting means that he'll follow no matter where they go, so he should just kind of chase after them and join the moment he arrives. That should help. As for the rest of these, we do kind of want to get them over to Kurt. That may take a little longer. Okay, so I've managed to take Nassau, and I've targeted Kurt's army so that they'll start running towards him. He is moving though, so they won't get to him this turn, despite it saying 14 days. I'm deciding to leave Nassau with them just in case they run into trouble along the way. They'll have what they need. Basically, they'll have more power in order to fight it off. I mainly say this because there is an enemy right here, which may end up causing me some trouble. Because he's here, I'm actually going to be sending Kurt down this way on the offensive. It's actually quicker just to go from here to here because this road is a little misleading. It's not a straight road going through here. Each tile counts as a road, which increases movement. You don't start up here, travel down through forest and hills to get here. This all counts as a road if the civilization level, as you see, has major road, every inch of the tile. But trying to make sure my lines are intact, at least for now, I have set it so I'm just going to travel through here, stop here instead of progressing through. That'll give 2 days to rest and 2 days for these units to catch up, to try to maybe catch this guy and attack him if I can. Hopefully just get him running the other direction. If he does run to Konglomerat, these guys will be able to intercept. He'll already be on his way down here. I basically intend to send him down here and then skip Olmutz, go down here, claim it a little bit, hit here, and then while this is still under siege, while Olmutz is still under siege, I'm going to send him down to Brunn to start a siege down there. That's my general idea. While also keeping him close enough up here that if I need to send him back, that I can. Whereas meanwhile, Leopold is still going to be heading south to Tabor, and I am sending Frederick towards Pilsen. His army is basically nigh unstoppable. It's the strongest of my armies. At the moment, Leopold's is doing alright. It's going to get stronger if these guys catch up with him. More like, oh, you know what? It's actually not that strong right now. Not going to lie. But it will get stronger. Everyone will get stronger except you. You're at your, like, you just left your peak height because you're not going to be getting any more units. Because I can't make more units. And with that, I believe we've taken all moves we realistically can take this turn. So let's move on to the next. See how this engagement here is going to go. Yep, he ran away to the south. But he's out of our hair, at least. Alright, okay. Another army down here. I don't know if this was here and it ran away. I see retreating. Okay, so he was here and he retreated and ran away before battle. But he ended up here. Still in my way. So that's not really very good for him. But we'll see. So this movement's going pretty well. I'm just going to continue to chase him. He'll probably retreat further down south. I've ordered Kurt to basically make his way down here. It'll take him 3 weeks, so it's not going to get there next turn. He's ordered to just stay chasing Kurt. He should catch up no problem. He is moving faster than Kurt. Probably because there's just less of him. He's not tugging artillery behind him like Kurt is. Kurt, by the way, his cohesion is having some problems, but got an event here called the Weissenfels and the Saxons. Saxony honors its engagements with Austria, releasing a 20,000 men auxiliary corps under the command of Johann Adolf II von Sachsen-Weissenfels. That's a long name. The Saxon army is a disciplined, well-trained army which saw action in the War of Polish Succession in 1733 through 1735, as well as the Austro-Turkish War in 1737 through 1739, gaining experience in those fights. What does that mean? This auxiliary corps is a Saxon army, or is it just talking about the Saxon army separately? Whatever the case, I don't think that's a good thing for us. The region still cannot be entered in this scenario, so they're not fighting us yet at the very least. Frederick is going to reach his location next turn, 6 days from now. He's going to arrive with overwhelming force. Even if he is lacking cohesion, he's going to arrive with overwhelming force. So I'm going to put him in an assault posture to attack Pilsen the moment he arrives. Why? Because look at what's defending it. A single unit with a power level of 12. Doesn't matter what I bring here. I could send one of these brigades here and that would be enough to take it. There's no fort here. It's just a size 4 city with a size 4 depot. If we can take this intact, that's actually a huge gain. A size 4 depot. And this is one of our objectives. So we're going to arrive, we're going to take it, and then we're going to rest and hopefully recuperate our supplies and mainly our cohesion. This, on the other hand, is another story. This has a size 1 fort here. 1 unit defending it with a power level of 35. Looks like the army I sent to join him did end up meeting up with him. Boosted his command from, I believe, 32 to 36. He's overall far more ready for a fight than anybody else. He arrives in 3 days. So I believe I'm going to go ahead and put him to the assault as well. Maybe stupid, maybe silly. It's only a size 1 fort. And only 35 power defending it. I don't see that a blitzkrieg could go too terribly wrong here. Even if our cohesion is little, we still have a power level of 1,332. It may be less by the time we arrive, but it will be at least 1,000. We may lose some units, but there's a size 2 depot here. We have the entire turn to recuperate it. Over here is a little bit different of a story. We have an enemy force right next door. That is not good. If we do assault here, if he's on the offensive, that means he can show up and reinforce. And this is no small army here. So I'm actually going to go into the decisions here. We're going to have to do something about this. We got siege works, we got mines. He can't use mines. We're going to drop a siege works on this location. That way, by the next turn, there will be at least 1 hole in the fort. Maybe 2, which would be all we need. His actual garrison isn't as strong, but it is stronger than every other garrison we look to face this turn. We're going to put him in the defensive so that he has more time to rest and he won't seek a fight. Kurt, of course, is going to stay in the offense. You know what, actually, no. We're going to leave him in the offensive, so if Kurt does show up nearby and gets into any shit, they may assist each other, which would be better than the alternative, because this is 3 green pips here. 3 out of like, what is this? Actually, that's a lot. You know, I used to say that was 4. Maybe it was 4 in the last campaign. I'm not sure, but this is a lot more than 4. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7? I don't know, but the amount of ticks or pips here is still a little concerning with the size of the force that I'm seeing. If that's power, you know, 237, 239, this adds up to what we have here with our current cohesion. So by leaving him on the offensive, we may not do that well in our cohesion, but we'll be ready for an attack, for these units to show up should they. We'll be ready to assist Kurt should he need it, and by next turn we should be ready to assault Olmut should we need to. And Kurt should be ready to start moving on Brunn and getting a siege started there, should he need to. Size 2 fort, and who's this again? Karl Marwitz should be ready to head down to assist if needed, or push on Vienna or Pressburg if needed. We've done most of what we can do for this turn though. We should throw something else into the recruitment pool. I think I'll just throw a elite infantry into Berlin. And that's all I can recruit right now anyway. Because we have one of each recruiting line and elite. We have no line or elite infantry reinforcements ready to go, so we gotta keep those turning out. It feels like we have more line infantry than elite this time, but they still take longer to turn out, so that's why I'm gonna prioritize them for right now. Otherwise, it looks like both of our morale has gone up this turn. They're back into the positive for victory points, which is not very positive for me, but I do believe that's everything that we have on the menu for right now. Yes. So we're going to hit end turn. Already we have the Battle of Tabor at the very start. And that went better than I expected, considering we showed up with like no cohesion whatsoever. We didn't suffer a single hit. And they were in a fort. They were in a fort and we didn't suffer a single hit. All 340 of the men defending this fort. Rather high quality and disciplined line infantry too, and they're dead or they surrendered. We got prisoners, some of them surrendered. It doesn't do anything. As far as I'm aware, getting prisoners in this game doesn't do anything. It's another way that people can die, basically. They were very well entrenched, entrenchment of 200, and yet they stood no chance. It was probably because we showed up with 96 cannons. Good cohesion or not, 96 cannons are going to do some damage here. So let's proceed to the next battle, which is an assault at Pilsen. Again, going better than I thought. We arrived with dog shit for cohesion, but with 28,000 men. This was 25,000 men. That goes to show just how many units are in here, despite their cohesion making it seem otherwise. But Frederick has like the cream of the crop, I guess, because his power goes up to like nearly 4,000. 30-something hundred anyway. All they had defending here though was some militia, some half-disciplined militia with much worse stats than they had over at Tabor, and only about half the amount anyway. And okay, we do have an engagement here. Looks like Kurt did run into the enemy force. Some enemy force? Wait. Was that the enemy force that was sitting here the entire time? Wow, it was. No, it wasn't. Wait a minute. Who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? That's not the force. That is a much larger force. That has a general and 2 brigades and an artillery battery. 24 cannons, 75 horses, nearly 5,000 men. We did run by with about 25,000. Wow, so uniform. It looks like our units caught up before the battle started, which was good. We suffered a small amount of hits. Well, we suffered about half the amount of hits they did. They lost more than we did. We only lost 268 men, 17 horses. They lost 634 men. No actual elements lost on either side, which is a shame. They just ran away in the middle of the fight, basically. I don't know how else that's going to go. They're just sitting still. Nope. Oh, what? Oh, okay. All right, so we weren't as far across as it looked. Wow, so we got really interrupted on our way there if we're still 19 days away here. This army is in our way. It looks like this force that we were in front of just actually met up with another force, and now they're just getting in our way like a bunch of dickheads. But yes, Nassau's force did catch up, so that is good. And now, all right, these guys are still here. Luckily, they're split up for right now. It's going to take 19 days just to get here at the current rate. Another 2 turns. Not even 1 turn. It was 2 turns. In fact, it was 21 days to get here, and now we're only down to 19. How the hell does that even happen? We do have an event called Partisanen. I guess that's like partisan in German. If the invasions of Bohemia in 1741 to 1742 met no reaction from the Bohemians, such is not the case in 1744. 1741, this was when we first showed up and attacked as Prussia. That was our last campaign. Led by their nobles, the peasants gather in groups of artisans and attack supply convoys as well as isolated soldiers. The Bohemians hide their resources, or resources, in the forests, fill the wells, and practice, wow, look at all the typos, a scorched earth policy. Well, that's not good. I guess that's why this is pillaged. So they're not going to make it very easy to hold Prague, not that I left much there to begin with. I did see some other like minor events. So we are still drafting here. I don't see the draft anymore. So it looks like it finished. And it did lower our military control, but not really our loyalty. Despite not seeing the requisitions, you know what? Is requisition like a one-day thing? Oh, it is one turn. So it did work. The military control is down 20%, but the loyalty was untouched. Even though it said, on average, reduces the loyalty by 10%. Instead, it reduced the military control by 20%, but it said that it would do both. So I don't really understand it. Doesn't make much sense to me. I don't like it, because really, the only way to restore that control is by having military units nearby, or in there at the very least. We did receive a fort battery in Schwedt. A fort battery here. That's interesting. Where even is this? That's all the way up here. Why are we receiving a fort battery up there? I guess it's just a historical thing they added for flavor. Otherwise, every single battle we fought so far in the past turn has gone pretty well. We've gotten a whole bunch of engagement points. Nice. Unfortunately, Austria destroyed the level 4 depot that was in Pilsen. Those bastards. I don't think they destroyed any other depots anywhere else. No. No, it doesn't seem like it. Tabor. No, it looks like we kept what was in Tabor. Yeah, a size 2 depot. But the size 4 depot was destroyed by the Austrians while we took this location, which is highly unfortunate. So as per the merry routine of taking objectives, we must find someone to leave behind that is not a militia in order to retain control over the objective. Luckily, we have more of these, like, luckily, I guess. We have more of these, what are they called again? Fusiliers. Fusiliers, I don't know. We're just going to send him here, put him in sentry mode so I don't have to worry about him. And now we'll take Molin here and give him back his, what the hell? This is a weird little setup. 1, 2, 3. Why is there just a random grenadier that's not a part of anyone's... Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's just a random grenadier that's not a part of anyone's brigade. That's interesting. We also have to find someone to leave behind in Pilsen. Any region that has an objective must be held by some sort of main regular or cavalry or whatever unit. For reasons I do not know, if we take somewhere like Pisek, for example, we won't actually need to do that because there won't be an objective to control. We can technically just toss a bunch of militia in there for all I care. Let's find someone to leave behind here. Do we have any more of these useless units here? Actually, no. Frederick doesn't have any of those more useless Fusiliers here because I took them out and gave them to him, basically. So instead, we'd probably have to leave behind a cavalry unit or something else, or otherwise it would just have to be a regular. I mean, otherwise, what do we... Yeah, these are elite infantry. Yep, so I'm just going to split Hans' little group here, Hans, and we're going to take one of the Hussars, toss it into the structure, put it on sentry status, make sure it's in defensive. Yes, okay, good. And then we take Hans, and we give him back some of his Hussars, combined units. There we go. And for whatever reason, Ferdinand here has one cavalry unit in his group, one set of cuirassiers, I really don't know what to call it, with all of his elite guard units. So we're going to actually cut him into pieces here, and we're going to toss that cuirassier in with Zeiten. Oh, Hans von Zeiten. I got real confused there for a second, because he actually has bonuses dedicated to using cavalry, so it's just better off if they're with him than somebody else. And then we can take Ferdinand and we can give him back his guard units. I wish I could just pull one unit out by himself, you know? That would be nice. Having lost more of their objectives, the Austrians have gone from, what was it last turn? 71 morale down to 47. That is abysmal. the penalties they must be taking. So the highest cohesion bonus you can get is actually around when you hit 150 morale. That gives you a 25% bonus to cohesion. The base range is of course at around 100 morale, but cohesion does get debuffed all the way down to 0 morale. As it stands right now, they have 47. That puts them in the range of 45 to 54, so that's base level 50, which means they have a minus 25% debuff to their cohesion, which means whereas I'm gaining 25%, they're losing 25%. We got a good 50% difference between our max cohesion, which means as it stands, I will be far more ready for any battle than they will. So over here, I'm going to send Frederick 1 tile east, because I do want him to capture control of this area, because if he does, it will actually connect my supply line from here and here, because I'm also planning to send Leopold here to Pisek to just assault it upon arrival. There's almost nothing defending it. There's no wall or anything. This isn't an objective that I need or anything. I'm just going to take it so I can nice and tidy connect these little supply lines, gain access to another depot and city producing supply in the area, and I am sending Frederick northwest. These are also not locations that I actually need. However, I do want to have him in this area in case he's needed up in Saxony. If he can get any border fortresses, that's even better. But I do believe I saw the main Austrian force was going to be somewhere up in this area in general, because I remember we saw them somewhere around here at the start of the game. Maybe over here, yeah. Looks like it could have been over here. So I'm guessing they maybe went up north and this way. So there's only one way to actually find them. And as it stands, I mean, we're not going to get there next turn anyway. Next turn, we're only going to be reaching this tile. Actually, that's a lie. We're not even going to reach this tile. So I don't have to worry about straying too far or anything. In fact, I could just make it here, just so I don't accidentally start moving at the speed of Superman and reaching Carlsbad in half the time that I'm supposed to. Simultaneously, Leopold will also be left up here by connecting with, or should I say through, Pisek, in case he's needed due to the vast amount of Austrians that could be up here. That being said, the Austrians could also have done some, I don't know, fancy boat travel-y stuff to get through, because I believe the Bavarians are with me, or they should be, to end up towards Vienna, but I do really think they're going to come out on this side. That's why I do want to keep these two armies up here, just in case. Not just because we are going to have to fight Saxony at some point, and we do need to take control of Halle. That is an objective we will need by the end of the game, but because I believe the Austrians are going to show up here as well. And this is still Bohemia, and we do know they're probably going to be operating out of Bohemia based on that event that we saw earlier. At Olmutz, I believe I don't have much to worry about. We already have one hole in the fortification, which I actually forced through with the siege works, so I'm going to put Marwitz here on the assault. Now, this army is over here and may come to the defense, but I believe their cohesion's probably fucked due to their run-ins with Kurt over here, who is chasing them anyway. Now, Kurt won't be able to technically help from this distance in case they do get involved, but I'm not too worried about a broken, battered unit. Even then, this broken, battered unit is going to get curb stomped if they choose to intervene anyway. Gotta keep in mind, the overall Austrian cohesion's really low as it stands. This unit is more what's to worry about, but we have so much power and so many units. I do think we're good to assault right now. The enemy units inside are weak, and we do, or we should have the power to take it in simply one day of an assault. I hope. I just noticed, I don't know if this is new or not, but I do have the ability to recruit Pontoneers, which are a nice little, not very useful unit, but they're good if you're crossing a river. They don't contribute much to a battle. But I am going to just continue recruiting reinforcements instead, because I do believe we need that the most. We haven't pumped out a single elite or line infantry yet, I don't think. So I'm going to pump what resources I have into doing that. And that should make a pretty complete turn. So let's hit next turn. Hopefully the battle at Olmutz goes well. Otherwise that could be kind of devastating. Alright, we've assaulted. Okay, so 650 men. Doesn't look like anyone came to reinforce whatsoever. So we have assaulted Olmutz. Our units will still be in the assault posture, which is going to lower their amount of overall cohesion gain, which is unfortunate. But at least we have a fort with hopefully a depot that is now friendly if they didn't burn it on our side. They lost everything. only one element is considered lost, but if they lost a town, then they lost everything. It's just how it works, whereas we lost no men and have captured the town. And in fact, this dude's running towards Olmutz. He wasn't fast enough to get away from Kurt, who is engaging, and 46,500 men, our units at Olmutz, led by Karl Marwitz, did get involved. He did go to help Kurt after the battle. Only 209 men lost on our side, only 442 on their side, so not a big important battle either way. We're both very low on cohesion. No one was entrenched. He's constantly on the run. But that's a positive result for us. We have arrived at Pisek, and we have captured, no problem, killed every single Austrian there, except for the ones we took prisoner. And it looks like Frederick is running out. Yeah, he, of course, couldn't get out of this region just yet. No problem. We've taken control of this, so we take a look at our supply lines, and we'll see it's all nice and connected. Cool. And with that, we're on to turn 6 with 29 turns remaining. But as it stands, we've taken all but Brunn, which is down here, and Halle of our objectives to just insta-win the game, I guess. And Halle's not actually available to be attacked yet. So far, this is going actually really, really well. We're not seeing any major losses. If you take a look here, total combat losses, well, it's not as good as it was in the first campaign where we had basically a 2-to-1 ratio of what we've killed to what we've lost. Maybe a little better. We're doing better than 1-to-1 as things stand. We have a nice full episode right here, though, so thank you guys very much for watching. We're going to see where this progresses to on the next episode. Bye-bye.